Next on Deck with Tim Black.
Root for you and even fight harder for you and your wealth than they do for themselves. Get them to make your priorities their priorities. Maybe even get them to fight other non-rich people, immigrants and minorities, and anybody but you.
Joy Reid has made multiple tens of millions of dollars per year for probably 10 years. You would think at some point she'd go, you know what, I'm gonna say some truth. And she will, but it's only about the Republicans. She'll never throw in her own party. She'll never keep it a buck, because all of it is propaganda in order to drive you to the Democratic Party. Joy Reid wasn't a gaslighter, she'd be nothing. Her main job is to gaslight the hell out of America, particularly Black Americans. Check out this segment from MSNBC's #1 pit bull, Joy Reid.
If you were, say, a billionaire or a mega millionaire who owned major corporations that control everything from oil and agriculture to how Americans shop and what they drive, how we access healthcare, the devices we use, how we get information, the price of housing, food, and more, and you were using your massive wealth, not necessarily to make life easier or more affordable for ordinary Americans, but rather to just make more money, how would you handle the inevitable backlash when average Americans figure out they're getting played and paying higher tax rates than you while earning a fraction of what your CEOs and stockholders rake in, and also paying more for literally everything? How would you keep the anger at bay, forestall a storm the Bastille revolution? Well, one thing you could do is build high walls to live behind, hire private security, and travel around in an armored car. That might keep you safe from the teeming masses. Kind of isolating, though. Or you could get millions of average Americans to take your side.
You know what I find kind of interesting here is that I wonder what Joy Reid had to say about the United Healthcare exec that was shot down. Because you could almost hear that, sort of like that sentiment. You know, like she's saying, hey, these billionaires. We know he was a millionaire. But the industry, once again, the industry is not a millionaire. It's a multi-billion, if not $1 trillion industry, right? We're talking about the healthcare system. It's just sort of like on that pathway, but like all things that are neoliberal, that are about privatization in the corporations, to pay out the money of the corporations, which MSNBC big time supports. Like that's where they are. That's how their bread is buttered, yo. I thought she was gonna go there, but she didn't. You said, hey, people gonna storm the castle, you know. Luigi?
We were talking a lot about this Luigi Mangione, the case about the United Healthcare CEO. People are very angry at United Healthcare, I think for good reason, denying care and the whole system. And we were just talking in the previous block, killing a CEO is not the way you change. You have to regulate them, right? And so we've got attempts to try to rein in some of these big businesses.
Nah, she's gonna pivot. This is about Republicans. It can't be about anything that actually helps us. Yeah, there you go. There you go, thinking maybe it's possible. There's something redeemable about Joy Reid. No, it's going to go about Republicans.
Root for you and even fight harder for you and your wealth than they do for themselves. Get them to make your priorities their priorities. Maybe even get them to fight other non-rich people, immigrants and minorities, and anybody but you and your fellow billionaires. Okay, well, how would you do that? Because that would be one hell of a magic trick. Back in the 1980s, Rush Limbaugh became a radio powerhouse by enthralling mainly white working class men, truck drivers, cops, and other non-college educated blue collar types who spent their workdays in their cars or other places where they could tune into AM radio for hours. AM radio networks saw the potential profit in this and syndicated his show to hundreds of rural of the prominent and affluent Limbaughs of Girardeau, Missouri.
Is that totally wrong? Nah, she's not totally wrong. She's mostly wrong, but she's not totally wrong. She's got a point. Americans too fixated, too glued to millionaires and billionaires. And too much of America is held captive by those entities that control them purse strings. Yeah, too much is going on in America. It's about the money. It's about the corporation control, whether it be our networks, our media, whether it be our politicians. This is a song that we keep playing because it's so true. It's so real. It's a beat. It's an 808. Put on top of it what you will. You can always dance to it. But the thing about Joy Reid, you would think the Democrats don't have billionaires. More billionaires supported Kamala Harris the billionaires supported Donald Trump. You wouldn't know that from this segment. You also wouldn't know it if you were dumb enough to follow D.L. Hughley, who posted this. And the people that commented about how real Joy Reid is. Neither side is on your side. That's why we got to create a new side, our side. Do you realize that? That's where I'm going with this. And that's what Joy Reid will never have the courage to say, because she can't. She cannot say that and have a job. And you know what? And I used to couldn't get this. I didn't understand it. But all the billions of dollars these people have socked away, they can't say the real. And that's just my poor people thinking, because what does a man with $100 million want? $200 million. Joy Reid has made multiple tens of millions of dollars per year for probably 10 years. You would think at some point she'd go, you know what? I'm going to say some truth. And she will, but it's only about the Republicans. She'll never throw in her own party. She'll never keep it a buck, because all of it is propaganda in order to drive you to the Democratic Party. And then we got little propagandists like D.L. Hughley, Charlamagne the God, just to name a couple, who work in concert with them to get the money that they get. Joy Reid is right. Right? She's right. Corporations control too much. They try to pit us against one another to keep the gravy train running. This is basic. But here's the other thing. While the Republican Party is pitting group against group, the Democratic Party is doing the same thing on the other side. We just got through covering a subject, a topic where James Carville, strategist since the Clinton years, has been around for 50 years. He says, hey, we spent the whole time talking about Trump, and we weren't talking about the issues.
Michael, there's a simple, basic rule of politics is voters want an election about them. They don't want an election about you or your opponent. And for too much, we lost that. I lost it myself. We made it about Trump, and we didn't make it about voters.
And that's what the Democrats do. Republicans vilify groups. Immigrants, blacks, Latinos, right? Welfare queens, whatever. Which is typically, almost always, an acronym or a synonym for black people. CRT, BLM, woke, these are just terms for black. Welfare queen, all these is just welfare. This is just your way of saying N-word without saying it. Hey, I'm not even going to hold you. These are facts. I'm just making sure we understand where each other's coming from. That we had to have a baseline of true facts that we're working with. But the Democrats, they do another thing. They make it all about the Republicans. They make it all about these groups. They make it all about what the Republicans are doing. Never about what the people need. That's not their focus. And they make it about their groups. They make it about LGBT and black and Latino and immigrant and all these. They do the same thing, but they do it the other way. But it's never about anything that really makes their lives really better. It just looks better. It sounds better. It seems like a good buzzword. It gives you another acronym. It's defund the police. It's Black Lives Matter. It's Latinx. It is rainbow love, whatever. But at the end of the day, they're both doing the same things. These are distractions from what the people need. That's why I keep saying we need another party, we need another way forward, because neither one of these parties are operating for us. Joy Reid has had an opportunity in this segment to do something she would never do, so I guess it's not that I expected her to do it, but the amount of people that I saw that shared this segment as if this was some groundbreaking dope stuff where she dug up Rush Limbaugh, who's been dead a decade, to talk about how horrible he was. Well, not a decade. Since 2016, I think it was. 2017. Lived long enough to get an award from Trump. And make it about him. Or about the media conservative machine. It leaves out the fact that all the billionaires and all the millionaires, the millionaires and the billionaires, when Senator Sanders is talking about the millionaires and billionaires, he's talking about Democrats. Joy acts like they don't exist. Them the good billionaires. Like that white kid, Bankman that stole all that money or defrauded everyone. And
that's for another day. But Bankman-Fried's reported donating $40 million to Democrats in the past election. And with Bankman-Fried doing the mainstream media rounds,
was giving all that money to political campaigns and they was kissing his ass. Anyway, hey, it's true. The Republicans focus on corporate interests, wrapping in a national flag in the morons. Go for it. Because they know the right tune to play. Because Hollywood gives them the backdrop of the camouflage of national pride, of patriotism. Okay? Democrats do the same thing. They wrap it in civil rights, social justice. Never going far enough, actually, to make their lives better for those veterans, to make their lives better for the average working class, middle of the country person, white person that they're trying to recruit, or that's the bread and butter of their party. Never really. And on this side, all this divvying up and attention to these special interest groups or these minority groups, these hate saying that, but gotta articulate it in this social justice stratification of these groups. It doesn't really make their lives better, but it gives them something to fight for, fight against, and it gives them something to cheer for. And it hits them emotionally in a place where they can be captive and they can be lured and influenced by that messaging. Same thing on this side. So if you're on the Joy Reid side, if you're a Democrat, or if you're a person that resonates more with the Democratic message, ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. Realize the same strategies are being played on the other side to full effect, to great effect. The same machinations working on you. Just a different music. Y'all both dancing. So whether you're dancing for Beyonce's new country western cut or whatever's over here playing, whatever that is, or if you're dancing to Slim Thug on this side, or whatever that is, whether it's Rihanna, I don't know, you're still dancing. And they don't much give a nobody gives a damn what you dance to long as you dance. And Joy Reid is DJing. And Sean Hannity is DJing. And Don Lemon is DJing. Tucker Carlson, DJ. Makes sense? And until we break the record's gonna keep on spinning, baby. Somebody, unplug that motherfucker. It needs to be us because they ain't gonna do it for us. All right, guys, my name is Tim Black. Thank you for tuning into the Tim Black Show. I got a website, TimBlackTV.com. I got a mug. Support this show. Go to TimBlackMug.com.